Well, hello. It is the Project Game Day postgame show after the Ravens crushed the Broncos in a game that was briefly competitive in the first half, but never competitive in half number two. Project Game Day postgame show is made possible by 1-800-GAMBLER. No cost treatment now available for anyone wanting help with a gambling problem. Everyone wanted to start the show early. I was worried because, I've seen the Ravens defense, and then, it took forever for everybody to show up anyway, even though the Ravens defense didn't screw this up at all in the second half. I'm here. Steck is here. KZ's here. Femi was at the game. He'll join us here in a little bit. Reeta will check in as she can, and we'll see if anybody else is able to jump in. Andrew, you've been here the longest, so I'll let you begin your first thoughts on a dominant performance today.
It was comprehensive. It was everything you kind of wanted to see from this offense in terms of balance of run and pass. It's kind of like it's kind of the recipe for these types of games. And I thought this was a really big performance from the offense specifically, because they knew they were going to probably have to put up points. Now, as it turns out, the defense showed up too, and it was a lot of it was the fourth downs that the Broncos continued to go for and making the play when it was necessary. There were a few fourth and shorts there that they probably could have converted that they didn't to keep some drives going. But that's all fine. Like the defense stepped up and did its job too. And for as maligned as it has been to give up only 10 points against an offense that sure is not the offense that's I think the caliber of the top of the AFC, this is still a really, really good performance from them too. And I don't know. This was a good matchup for the Ravens, I think. So it's a check mark, but it's not to be like brushed away either. It's a pat on the back win and a job well done.
I'll say this now, and when Femi joins us, I worry that he would fight me about it. But I feel like this defensive performance is rat poison. Like I think this is dangerous that you sell yourself on the idea that like this proves that last week was only about Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins not being there. And I to me there was an extraordinary set of circumstances that allowed the defense to look good. To your point, the 4th and 1 stop early was kind of dumb luck that the way he fell a quarter of a yard short of picking up the first down instead of being right at the first down marker. And then they do convert on 4th down on the touchdown. And then the Ravens score twice before they see the ball again. So by the time they see the ball again, they're one dimensional because they're down by 3 scores at that point, 3 touchdowns instead of it being a one-score game.
But
I,
here's the thing, Glenn. I'll push back slightly on that before you Femi even gets a chance at you. Like the Broncos were always going to be pretty one dimensional. Like let's just be honest. Offensively, they were only going to be able to throw the ball against this defense. I know they've had a decent enough rushing attack and a very like bottom third of the league passing attack, but like they were gonna have to throw the ball no matter what in this game. They were and it was to me that's why the offensive performance, like I really harp on that because they knew they were gonna have to put up points
and
because
I agree with that. Yeah.
the defense was gonna be one dimensional to their weakness. Like they are the worst pass defense, and I don't think that's gonna cloud any judgment from this front office over the next few days. Like in knowing what they need is probably still not in
I
house.
know what you're saying. I just think it's one thing to play pass defense or one thing for a team to be one dimensional because it's the best idea. It's another thing for a team to be one dimensional because it's the only option. Like when you know that all you have to worry about that is them throwing the football, and you say, hey, if they want to run the ball, by all means, let them run the ball. They're down by 3 scores. They can't get their way back into the game. I just, it's hard for me to look at anything that happened in the second half and say that it matters defensively in any way. It's very difficult for me to buy into it. And Bo Nix was also complicit in overthrowing some open receivers in the end zone today as well. And that all factors into why, on paper, I think it's going to look like a better performance defensively than I actually believe that it is. And I think that we have too much of a mountain of evidence combined with that for me to think that it's even like a particularly strong trend. Ken, I'll let you have your first word.
Oh boy, this is really weird for me because I agree with Glenn Clark. Um, I I
Pigs might
I
fly now. Pigs might fly. Look at this guy.
I
By the way, look at this guy in the streets of Toronto. Just hanging out, living his best life. We'll get to him in 1 second.
you know you have such a dynamic offense, and I agree with Andrew. They knew they had to put up points in this game. I think they know that in every game from now on, with the way not only this year but in years past that they've given up leads in the fourth quarter and things like that. Bo Nix had eternity to throw the football today. They still don't have a pass rush, and they have 2 days to fix it. And this is the time to go all in. I don't want to hear about draft picks anymore. I don't want to hear about salary cap anymore. Go get a pass rusher. Go get somebody that can help this defense and help this secondary. The secondary looked good today. Marcus Williams made a play early in the game.
Yep.
Very, terrific. It's
They
go
caught a ball
ahead.
that was thrown to them, which was a nice change of
They
pace.
caught a ball that was thrown to them. I don't want to dismiss it. But we talked about this on Thursday, Glenn. None of us believed in the Denver Broncos. They hadn't played a real opponent all year. This was going to be a test for them. They failed miserably. They're not a good football team. They won't make the playoffs this year. But the Ravens, because they came in and needed to come off of that stink of a performance last week, they did what they had to do. I mean, it's great that they only gave up 10 points, but there are problems on the defense still, and let's not ignore it. You got a short week and you got an offense coming in that maybe they'll have everybody back in Cincinnati next week. But a team that put up 38 against you the last time, so it's a terrific win. It's a win you needed. Everybody feels good about it. Your stars on offense all performed. Your stars on defense. I thought Hamilton played a terrific game again. I guess he's the star right now. I don't. Maybe.
Yes, he
Maybe
is
I. Maybe.
definitively. He's
Maybe.
the star.
Maybe that S was too much for stars. But you got to fix the pass rush at this point. We've been talking for 3 weeks. What move do they make? And I had said safety at one point. They got to get a pass rusher.
All
Period.
right, let me go to this guy next here, wandering the streets after celebrating and vibing a little bit today. What's going on, Josh?
Hey Ken, hey Glenn.
How you doing, buddy?
Over here in Toby's Pub, which I was told was a Ravens bar, and it was
What?
not. Um,
Who are you
definitely-
watching with? What fan
well,
base?
it wasn't that it was another fan base. I don't think it was any team's bar.
Okay.
But I had gotten bad intel, so I
Josh,
said,
hi Josh. Yes, I'm
Hello,
sorry.
my
I
dear.
know you have been here, but I just
Hello.
wanted to say hello. Me and
How are
Femi
you?
are here. Me and Femi are
Oh.
broadcasting
Are you at the
live
game?
from the stadium. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I would just echo what Ken said. I was texting my dad the first half, and the lack of pass rush. I mean, first of all, I will say this: Marcus Williams with that great tackle early in the game on the run. I mean, that was something to see. He just came right up and got that guy. That was an incredible play. So that was nice to see him bounce back after sitting the game. But I just think the other thing is we're not used to seeing this, right? I mean, we're not used to seeing, since the early stages of the Ravens, it's just hard to see a team struggle to get off the field. And I will say this, though, they turned it around in the second half. We got a little more pressure. We didn't get enough sacks, but we got pressure. And can you guys hear me? I feel like
Yeah, we got you good. We got you
All
good,
right.
buddy.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what it is? I see Reeta, and Reeta was muted, so I was like,
Reeta.
God damn, I don't think anybody can hear me. But I do think, I agree. I think we need to find a way to get more pressure. But I want to give the defense credit that they tightened up. They did in the second half, because in the first half it was looking pretty scary. That we just couldn't get off the field. We had so many favorable situations, and we just let them out of it because of a lack of pressure. So I agree. I would love to see us go for somebody. I don't know what they're going to do, but we got to find a way internally, scheme, or go get somebody, because this offense is such a juggernaut. And if we can just get that defense just more consistent, because against, like you said, even Thursday, it's going to be a much tougher opponent, in terms of if we don't get the pressure on Joe Burrow. We've seen what he can do. So I don't know, though, but I have to say, the positives were, Hamilton was just incredible, all over the field, making amazing plays. It's amazing to watch the offense continually, even when I thought Denver their front played really good in the beginning of the game, and they were stuffing the run. But I've seen before with this team, they just keep rolling. And come third quarter, come fourth quarter, they really do wear you down. And you just see that effect. and it's an incredible thing to watch. So I want the defense to meet them. I'm not expecting the defense to be as good, but I just think it's a bit of a shock just from us in Baltimore being so defense dependent for so many years to just watch the complete flip. Which again, you'd have to go to Vinny Testaverde, Michael Jackson days probably to really witness what we're seeing.
Yeah.
It's not that extreme, by the way. I do think the defense, can get there, but we're going to need some help.
Today, the best defense was the offense in the first half, right? Like just doing what they were doing. All right, Reeta, are you and Femi like sharing a suite today? Are you in the same?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't. Where you at, Femi? Where you?
Like,
I'm in 324 right now.
I'm at 364, so we on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
You guys can wave to each other and say hello from across the stadium. All right, Reeta, your first thoughts today.
Listen, it's funny because y'all know I prefaced this last week. My boyfriend's a Broncos fan. It's funny because he was like, it's going to go either way. This is either going to be a very close game and they somehow upset it, meaning the Broncos, or the Ravens is going to blow it out. So obviously the opposite has happened. And I'm very impressed because I think that this Broncos defense is extremely sound. They are good, and to see them dismantle such a great defense to me is great. I'm not gonna sit here and put it all on the and say, how, to me a lot of this is about the decision making from the Broncos offensive end in terms of the choices that they made and going for it on fourth down. I think that if you so 2 times, I know that they went for on fourth down at least 3 times, and I'm talking about 3 times that mattered, right? I'm not talking about towards the end of the game, but 3 times that mattered. One where they were in field goal range, and they probably should have taken the points. I think that was the first one. The second one where they weren't, but if they would have punted, they would have put the Ravens in deep territory where the Ravens scored 7. And then the one that they got the touchdown. But I think my thing is that if 2 out of 3 of those, they make an executive decision and punt, I think that it's a closer game, and I think that it favors the Broncos. They didn't do that. They got a little over aggressive, in my opinion. And I think that essentially that was the reason why it just kind of took off the way that it did. But I shout out to the Ravens offense, man. I mean, I was very nervous about this defense for the Broncos coming in because I know how good they are. And they just found a way. They got a way to get Derrick Henry going. They got a way. They found some time. They gave Lamar a little bit of time to get the passes to the receivers, to keep the first downs, to change moving. So I was really impressed. And I know I shouldn't be impressed with an offense that's ranked first. I understand. I should not be at this point, but I am still very impressed. And I'm not going to, and as long as they continue to be impressive, I'm going to be impressed, guys. I mean, I know y'all should think it should be second nature. Maybe it should be, but this was a really good win considering how good that defense is. And I think that it's important to mention that.
I hear you. I just think that at this point, the offense is so good, it's impervious to who the defense is.
But then you have games like last week. So I don't like to take it for granted. That's all. I think that's Glenn. I think for me, it's like not taking it for granted.
I get it.
Saying?
I get that entirely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to come to Femi. Experience the thrill of live betting with the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton. Green Turtle Sportsbooks, the ultimate destination for game day excitement and in-person betting. We finished the first trip around with our Super Bowl champion, Femi Ayanbadejo, on the scene. Your reaction to what you saw today, sir?
I think Reeta made a lot of really good points, and I agree with pretty much most of it. I think Denver took a lot of unnecessary risks today. They could have stayed in this game. It could have been a lot closer. But the reason why Sean Payton is a Super Bowl champion is because he takes risks. So to think he's going to act any different today and lose a game and get blown out is because he takes risks. Because on the other side of that risk is a Super Bowl championship. So he did what I expected him to do. But he underestimated who these Ravens are. He underestimated what this defense wants to be. The pass rush is absolutely not good enough. It is not good enough. And Bo Nix showed that he is worthy of being a first-round draft pick. So I'm not going to sit here and talk crazy because I think Denver's a threat. I think if Sean Payton made some different calls, this would be a different outcome. But don't get it twisted. The Ravens are one of the best teams in the NFL. They have one of the highest ceilings in the NFL. And I loved that today they chose to just play defense. They didn't get cute. They didn't get crazy. Offense didn't get cute. Offense didn't get crazy. And they blew out a team they should have blown out. And I didn't want to say that after what we saw last week, but I had a feeling today was going to go how it went. And I'm happy for this team. They earned it. And I know Rashad Bateman had that drop earlier in the game and whatever it is, what it is. But big scheme, like macro view, Lamar is the MVP. Lamar made all this stuff work on offense today. And the offensive line, shaky in the first quarter, but overall, pretty good. And I still think on the back end of the defense, I think Marcus played a really good game today, actually. He had a couple things that were, probably not on him. It was probably more on the corners. But overall, very proud of this team. Very proud of the response today. Not much to say, not much of a critique. This game went the way that it should have went, so I'm proud of these guys today.
Femi, I want to present something to you that Andrew and I were talking about earlier. I worry that, you can look at this from the outside and say, oh, the Ravens only gave up 10 points. The defense is back, right? And I think you already alluded to it. I feel like that would be missing the point a little bit. Like, I think the defense played well enough today, but I think that we also got plenty of examples of why that's not really the full story. And we know that this isn't still good enough. And as we all have alluded to now, the pass rush in particular stands out significantly.
Yeah, the pass rush is definitely not good enough. And I actually think, I don't know how many yards Denver averaged per carry, but I didn't like what I saw with some of the rush yards as well. I thought it was a little bit too easy. I know some guys are banged up, but I think we're spoiled. We expect a lot and we get a lot most of the times. But I think macro view, the direction we're moving in, the response is the right response based on last week. And I know everybody outside of Baltimore is going to look at that box score and be like, damn, the Ravens really destroyed Denver. But Denver was their worst enemy today, in my opinion. The Ravens did what they're supposed to do. Lamar did Lamar things. He's the MVP, in my opinion. Derrick Henry did Derrick Henry things. Zay Flowers did Zay Flowers things. The defense, in my opinion, still needs work. There's still things that need to get done today that were not done appropriately. And Bo Nix is a hell of an athlete. He made some plays with his feet today to let you know that, damn, Denver could probably win some games against some teams. They underestimate them. Their defense is still solid, but they ran into the best offense in the NFL. And I think the play calling and the decisions by the coach really made things difficult for them. They're not at that level yet, but I still think Denver can be a threat in the playoffs in the big scheme. So, long story short, short story long, I agree with you, Glenn. I see what you see, but I'm going to enjoy this win today.
Sure, of course. Obviously, it was a dominant. I do feel bad saying that because it was a dominant win. It was a good day, and that was against a good football team. So I agree with all that. Make your trip to the game easy by saving the Easy Pass way for tolls. Go to driveeasymd.com. That's driveeasymd.com. I'll put it out there for whoever wants to jump in first. Do we feel like that they have found something in Tavius Robinson after the performance that he had today?
I'm going to jump in right there. Tavius Robinson has been balling, and I'm Glenn. I'm so glad you brought it up. I'm like, Tavius is jumping off the screen a little bit today. He really is, and I'm not sure that it's his pass rush. It's his effort. I think I'm not sure what it is. It's his effort that I like the most. But the pass rush is not effing good enough. It's just not. But you know what I love though is that Play Like a Raven showed up today, and the effort and the energy and the intensity was everything that we wanted. But once again, what am I comparing the Ravens to? The Broncos? No. What do I care about? I care about a Super Bowl. Is the effort in what happened today on the field good enough to win a playoff game? Is it good enough to win a conference championship? Is it good enough to win a Super Bowl? I'll say today's effort is right there. It's right there. It's what I needed to see, and it's something to build on. And I think because of who the Ravens are, they'll build on this. I'm very optimistic, and I always tell you how high the ceiling is. This is what I needed today, and I got it. I'm gonna sleep good tonight.
I appreciate that. It's funny because Reeta, you started nodding your head as well when I brought up Tavius's name. You got to unmute yourself, friend.
Sorry, it was
You're good.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like the effort was very important. I thought that was a big thing for him to show up because I think many times a lot of us want to see the effort from draft picks. And, you measure how good drafts are based on, certain specific players. And so Tavius Robinson is a guy that I think that a lot of us thought had potential, but, probably hasn't had a lot of snaps necessarily. And so to see him play well today, even a guy like Trenton Simpson, is another one that I heard his name, quite a few times. It's just fun to see these guys, play and put the effort in. And I agree with Femi that it's necessarily not enough because I still felt like Bolton Nix had a lot of time and at some point and at some times, and this was a rookie thing for Nix, in my opinion. He was kind of like escaping the rush prematurely, whereas if he just stayed, sound, he probably would have been better off. But that's a rookie mistake on Bo Nix's problem, and that's not our problem. But for somebody a little bit more veteran, more seasoned, you do worry. But you have to also take the wins while they're there, and seeing the young guys contribute to a win the way that they did today, I think is very important. So I agree with Femi in that regard. It was good to see the young guys get out and make their presence felt.
Obviously, you measure that against the fact that David Ajabo was once again a
healthy scratch. Yep.
this week, which, is it's a head scratcher, right? Like that is one of the more concerning things that you see at the moment. Femi, you want to remind everybody about BetYard AI real quick?
Yeah, hey, BetYardAI.com. We're producing these insights on the NFL spread and the NFL point total. Go to BetYardAI.com. Dude, I've been at the game all day today, so not my best business development speech today. But what I'll say is this, though. We are bringing the price down, and we are listening to our fans and customers. And so there's going to be a lot of changes coming forward. But at the end of the day, the underlying AI that we use is solid. And we are in very early days. I hope people get on board. And I promise you, long term, you'll be rewarded. Go to BetYardAI.com. Check us out. See what we're doing. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Wait. Now we got to compete. Who did more drinking today, you or Josh? Because
I think Josh and I handled ourselves pretty well.
All right, Josh.
Might have been me. Might have been me.
Okay, all right. Rita throws her hat.
I'm with Femi. I think I'm handling myself very professionally.
I think Josh did really well. Josh didn't slur. He didn't stumble. He made his point. And I love Josh. I love you, brother. You're the man, bro.
Thank you, man. I drank like a Raven.
I love it.
Wait, yes, I do want to go back. So Josh, you're in Toronto. We can say that part, right? Like
I'm in Toronto.
So Josh told us that he thought he had found a Ravens bar, and it wasn't. Were you yelling and jumping up and acting like were you giving the full Ravens fan experience to this group of strangers in Toronto?
I was relatively mellow, to be honest with you, but there weren't many people in the bar for most of the game, so it was a relatively mellow bar. It picked up a little bit towards the second half and then into the later games, and there was a lot of pool playing going on, people that necessarily weren't interested in football.
Okay.
No, I had gotten the word that it was the Ravens bar. It's not too far from my hotel. I got there and I said, "Is this a Ravens bar?" She said, "No." I said, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Is it any team's bar?" She goes, "No." I said, "Okay, well, good to know."
But you got them to but they were willing to put the Ravens game on.
Not only did they put it on, I had to listen to the first quarter while they had a soccer game on. I had to listen to the sound from like a Premier League game, and then once that game was over, I think it was Man City or Man U. Once that game was over, then they had it on. They had our game on the big screen the whole time, and then they added the sound. So I have nothing to complain about. It was by myself. I had some wings. I'm here. I've got an early call tomorrow, but I'm going to see Springsteen tonight. It's a good day.
Oh, that doesn't suck. Are you still in?
Josh is in the T dot representing. By the way, I got family. Nigerians are everywhere. I got Nigerian family in Toronto in the T.
That's what I call it. I call it the T dot. The 415, baby. That's what's up.
Hey, did Drake hit you up, though? Did Drake hit you up, though?
No, I don't want to be hit up by Drake. I'm good.
Why not?
It's been a tough year for
Drake. He's not my guy. He's not my guy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't hate on him. He's just not my guy. I mean,
okay, cool.
I'm not like, I wouldn't be super excited to meet him, but all right. But I will say, I mean, just to echo Femi, I was thinking today, like, I think part of what it is seeing such a historic offense. It's so exciting to be a part of that, to have that as a Raven fan. something that we've struggled with for many years, where we were so much defensively minded. And so I'm just hoping that the pass rush can get there enough. I'm not expecting it to match the level of the offense, but come up enough, because that part scares me when we start facing some tougher, more veteran quarterbacks. So we'll see. But I agree. Like, I give them their props today. The offense, Lamar is so slick, so smooth. Derek just wears people down, man. You just see it. I mean, everybody talks about it, but you see it every week. Even they fought tough, the Denver front line. I mean, they stuffed him early on in the game, but then they just little by little, he just keeps chipping away.
Hey, it's about reps, baby. It's about reps.
Yeah,
so
reps.
I agree with everything that you're saying. And what I'll say is this, is that people don't remember, and my brother was on the 2012 team, and I watched it like from the ground level, and their defense was not that good in 2012. Yep. It really wasn't. But you know what, though? They found their stride when they hit the end of the season, and they found their stride in the playoffs. And against the Niners, obviously, the lights got blown out. You know, no conspiracy theories here. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying. But some weird shit happened. And I'm being honest. Like, I don't believe some shit just happened. And guess what?
I'm with you.
It gave them a chance to get back in the game. But the bottom line is that Ravens defense responded when it needed to respond. And we need that from this defense.
Yes,
they need to respond
right.
when they need to respond. And the bottom line is, go get Jadeveon Clowney. Stop disguising shit. You don't need to disguise anything. The Denver Broncos are the third best defense in the NFL before today, and they don't disguise anything. They line up and they cover and they play. And you know what that does? That frees up everybody to observe and just do what the fuck they need to do. And you don't need to be cute. Just do your fucking job. Pay attention to who you got to cover. If you have athletes on the field, you will make things happen. And guess what? The Ravens have athletes. 1 through 53, I put the Ravens roster at the top of the NFL. Maybe there's a couple other rosters that are pretty good, but they're not the Ravens, though. They don't have this history. They don't have this culture. They don't have this front office. They don't have this head coach. They don't have this
quarterback.
I already said it. You literally covered me up. You talked over me. Don't do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again.
God.
Sorry.
We're supposed to be coaching Griffin, not me.
No, I know it's all good. But you, like Glenn, you took the words, like literally. They don't have what we have. And sometimes when you have what you have, you never want to get complacent and you never want to get comfortable. But you also don't want to do silly stuff. And I think the Ravens are finding and figuring that out in real time. And today was a perfect example of being in the pocket. They were in the pocket today on offense and defense. And guess what? We are so happy for it. We appreciate it. We respect it. And that's what we are. That's who we are.
All right, real quick. If you missed it, we had to bump back the next Arthur Millette show. With this week being a Thursday night game and a quick week, we just decided we'd be better off bumping it back a week. So next Tuesday, November 12th, will be the next Arthur Millette show. You can join us at Mother's North Grill in Timonium Tuesday, November 12th. Find out more, PressBoxOnline.com/Millette. I want to give this question to everybody because you won't be surprised, we're not as active in the comments today. But we're all kind of in agreement, I think, at this point, that edge rush is the area that we would still like to see this team. You know, we obviously went out and got Deontay Johnson, who wasn't much of a factor today, but that's not to be, we're not surprised by that. You don't normally acquire a receiver and have them be a huge part of the story 5 days later. That's not normally the way that it goes. So I guess I'll phrase it this way. Your confidence in the Ravens, if they don't add an edge rusher this week, your confidence in the Ravens, how much it changes if they do. And KZ, I'll start with you.
If they do, I don't see with this offense any team to stop them this year. To be quite honest, going to Femi's point, roster wise, unless they stop themselves offensively, nobody's stopping them. They just dismantled the third best defense in the league. If they don't, there's going to be I don't know where it comes from. I don't think that they can get that Super Bowl this year if they don't. And I'm hopeful that people can step up. I mean, we've seen Robinson step up and play a bigger role, but more of that is needed, and you can't rely. There are going to be games like last week along the way, where for whatever reason the offense is slightly off, and instead of putting up 41, they put up 31, and the defense has got to make a play at some point. Right now, I don't. When they need a pass rush, there's nobody there to do it right now, and that's it. That's as plain as I can say it. I mean, I think they're the favorite to win the Super Bowl at the end of the day if they acquire that top level pass rusher. And I also think this is the year that we don't worry about, draft picks and salary cap and all that stuff. Just go and do it. You have the offense. You have many pieces in place to go and do it this year. There's nothing. There shouldn't be anything holding the front office back from making that move.
Reeta, if they do, if they don't, your confidence. And I need you to unmute yourself again, friend.
And I need you to be under 1 minute, by the way. KZ took like 5 minutes on that. Let's be
All
under
right.
a minute.
Reeta, you got
I've
us.
had enough out of you.
I miss KZ and Femi fighting, actually. We haven't had enough of that this season.
Confidence level. This offense is so good that my confidence level is always going to be high. I just need the defense to do a little bit more, and then my confidence will go through the roof. It's still very, I'm optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. But if this defense can, just fix the nooks and crannies that they have and moving forward, then to me, my confidence is through the roof. Sky's the limit at that point. So that's where I stand.
Okay, let me go to Andrew Stecca.
I mean, I kind of, to piggyback off of what Reeta's saying, like the offense gives you the, I guess, belief that the ceiling is the roof, as it were.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
Yes, I mean, like that is what it is. Like the offense is going to put you in any game, in any situation, until it doesn't. Like KZ was remarking about, like last week was a problem, and obviously a big part of the problem last week was the defense. Now you didn't have that problem as much today because of the circumstances that you have kind of gone over. But if the front office, they made a point on the broadcast today about the coaches just feeling like this is a team that's still growing under a new coordinator and so on and so forth, and a lot of new assistants as well. Like all of that may be true, but that doesn't change the fact that that window that we've been talking about, like you're in the center of it. Like this is the spot for it. Like you have to make sure that you have the best opportunity when you get to the playoffs to make that run on whatever path that is. That path was obviously easy last year, and they didn't get the job done in the end. I mean, as much as it breaks all of our hearts, like that's the way it went. So you've got to have another good crack at it this year. And if they feel like they need to go out and do something on the defensive line, I'm all for it. If they don't do that, they probably should add some more in the secondary as well. Like that should probably be the B plan if they can't execute that A plan. But like they've got to do something to add, just because it's vulnerable. I mean, it's in a vulnerable spot right now, and I can only kind of hope that some of what the coaches are spewing about, like, this group just needs more time to gel. I can only hope that that's the truth. I don't have any like evidence that that's actually the truth right now. I hope it is, and I hope that factors in toward the second half of the season. But you want to see more before you really believe it.
All right, I'm going to go back. Josh, I'll give it to you. If they do acquire a pass rusher, if they don't acquire a pass rusher, where's your confidence?
Well, taking what Femi said is true about 2012, that the defense, struggled and then they found their way. And I can't claim to know enough about what they're seeing on the inside to feel like these guys are going to gel if that happens. But I think what Andrew just said is a really smart point, is that, I don't know that Clowney's the answer. I don't know if we're going to strike that lightning again twice. I don't know. But if they get somebody like the guy from the Giants or somebody really
Azeez
major,
Ojulari.
Yeah, I think Ojulari could be huge. But I also agree that the backup plan should be to just sort of keep building the secondary as well. If we can't find a guy that's going to be an impact player on the line, because that will help us. That should be plan B. I agree.
All right, Femi. Enough.
Fuck. Finally. Damn. Man, I've been in the stadium sitting here waiting for you to like put me in, coach. You know what I mean? Like, damn. If they don't get a pass rusher, I say that their chances of winning the Super Bowl are probably shit. Well, first of all, you got to remember, like, no one has above what, like a 17 or 20% chance.
Right.
Like that's
No
that's
one
like,
team. Yeah.
yeah, no one team. Yeah. So I would say that right now I would put them probably at like 15% without adding a pass rusher, but that's probably in the top 3 or 4 teams is my
Mhm.
guess. And if you add a pass rusher, I put them over 20%. And Jadeveon Clowney is the guy that I want because I know that he will assimilate himself and he will jump right back in like it's nothing. And I just don't know who else is available. Ojulari is nice, but like, I mean, I don't know him. And I know his numbers are cool, and he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years, and he's been a New York Giant, I believe. But I just don't know him that well. But even without him, I think we're going to be fine. And like adding a DB, I don't have any confidence in adding a DB. Honestly, I don't. I don't think a DB is the problem. The issue is pressure, and it's going to be scheme. It's going to be just improvement as a team, availability and health. That's to me is the biggest issue. Like everything we need is inside this locker room. It's not about like all the other outside shit. If you bring a pass rusher in, it has to be the right guy. It can't be some rando. So I think I've answered the question. I don't know if it's like
I'm good.
here,
I'm
but
good with that. No, I'm in
okay.
about the
All right.
same spot where like I'm not gonna
Okay.
say that I don't think they can win the Super Bowl if they don't. I think they can,
Yeah.
but I think it requires days where you have to do a lot of things. A week ago, they needed to catch interceptions, and they didn't play mistake-free football, and they lost. If they don't
Exactly.
acquire an edge rusher, it's going to require them to play mistake-free football. Can they do that? Totally plausible. But it's the NFL and things happen, and I would like to improve that or limit the margin for error because I think most of us are in the agreement that yes, the edge rush is the biggest area where you can do that.
Let me add this last piece. This is what I'll say, and then I'm gonna have to like disconnect, guys, because
Well, you got to give us your 5 teams first.
Oh, I was gonna. Okay, you know, I'll wait for that because I love that so much, and that
All
was
right.
my idea. I added
All
that
right.
to the podcast, by the way. Anyway, yes, I did.
I love you did. I'm not taking it away from you. It's yours. Yes.
No. So let me just say that I think that people underestimate how NFL teams improve and how improvement is tethered to coaching and coachability. And I think that like the Ravens historically and culturally pride ourselves on coaching and coachability. So even we all know what happened last week, and Deontay is the only new player that was on the field this week. But it wasn't about his play today. It was about the Ravens recognizing the mistakes they made and then putting Marcus back in the lineup, in my opinion. But also just it's a pride thing. It's an understanding the NFL. It's understanding that you got to show up every week, and every opportunity is an opportunity. And when you fumble those opportunities, you drop passes or you drop interceptions, like these guys are too good. They're going to beat you. And today they didn't do those things. And still, I'm still searching for that perfect game, knowing that no perfect game is ever going to happen. But how close to perfection can you get? And the Ravens are the epitome of chasing perfection. I fucking love them for that. And that's why I don't talk about any other NFL team, because they don't fucking matter. Because they don't care about that the way the Ravens do. And yes, I've had a couple drinks today. I'm just being raw and I'm being real. And I was at a game today. I was here live. I was here live. I haven't been to a game since Heath passed away for a reason. And I'm on one today, and I don't give a fuck. But I love what I saw today, and I'm proud of these guys. I don't give a fuck. I'm proud. Lamar is the MVP. Amen. That's it. That's all I got to say. I'm out. I'm out. Bye. See you. Oh, wait.
Oh, you got to give your 5 teams.
I got to give my 5. Can I give my 5 right now?
We can go real quick if you got to go. Give your 5.
Give my 5. Let me pull it up. I already had it lined up.
All right, hang on. I'll tell everybody about the Green Turtle. You can experience the thrill of live betting with the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton. Green Turtle Sportsbooks, the ultimate destination for game day excitement and in-person betting. Now, Femi's 5.
All right, my girlfriend's with me. Let me have her hold my glasses real quick so I can like look at my shit. Thanks, babe. All right. At number 5 are the Pittsburgh Steelers. At number 4 are the Washington Commanders. At number 3 are the Baltimore Ravens. At number 2, Detroit Lions. At number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. That's my 5.
That's our Super Bowl champion. He'll be with us tomorrow morning on GCR.
Hey,
love you, buddy.
And by the way, I'm out. Yeah. Love you guys. Appreciate
you, dude. That's Femi. That's our guy. That's our guy. All right, let's get top 5s. Reeta, you'll go next. Your top 5 this week. Oh, Reeta, you got to turn your mic back on, friend. We got to unmute you. All right, she needs a second. All right, we'll go somewhere else then. We'll go to Andrew Stecca.
I
I'm
was.
ready.
Oh,
No,
oh no, damn it.
Go
I'm
Rita.
ready.
Go
I'm
Rita.
ready.
All right.
Go
I'm
Rita.
ready. Oh, I'm ready. All right. Number 5, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. Number 4, I have the Green Bay Packers, baby. Number 3, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, Femi, I still got the Detroit Lions
Wow.
at number
Wow.
1.
Wow. Wow. That's wild. All right, Stecca.
Y'all ready?
I put the Commanders in there at 5. I've got a lot of it's dependent on kind of what
Yes.
goes on this afternoon.
Yes,
but
there's
I've
a
got the
game
Packers-
between two of these teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Packers in there at 4 right now, the Ravens at 3, the Lions at 2, and the Chiefs at 1. It's still, for me, it's just kind of a you got to beat the man to be the man situation up top.
I understand that. Josh, you got your top 5 teams?
I'm gonna give the Steelers their due. Green Bay as well. Detroit, Ravens, and Chiefs. Although I want to say something. When Femi came up with this, I did bring up Green Bay that I liked where they were going the first time. If you go back and look, and I was kind of mocked for it. I just want to say, now 3 of us have picked Green Bay, so that's all right. You know,
Green Bay, they're in my top 5 as well. They're in my top 5 as well. Griffin, I'll let you have the next crack at top 5.
I am with Josh. I got the clear eyes, full hearts. Russell Wilson, Pittsburgh Steelers at number 5. I got the Commanders at 4, Ravens 3, Detroit at 2, and the Kansas City Chiefs number 1.
Gonzalez.
I have Green Bay at 5. I have the Steelers at 4. I have the Ravens at 3. I have the Chiefs at 2. And I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, the Lions at 1.
I am
Am
leaving.
am I the only one that has the Steelers outside my top 5?
No, I also do as well. I have them right and just outside. They would be number 6, and I would see.
I think so for me too.
Right.
I didn't hear anyone else not have
I have Washington at 5, and I know that they didn't look great today, but I didn't get to watch any of that game, so I can't really respond to it too much. But Washington remains at 5 for me, and then Green Bay 4, Baltimore 3, Detroit 2, Kansas City 1. So yes, you and I are in agreement about that topic. Not a whole lot to bicker about, not a whole lot to scream about. We will see what happens on Tuesday at the trade deadline, and that will impact how things go. Josh, you got to get out. That's why you're telling us. Love you, buddy. Thank you for hopping on.
So good to see you all, man. This really
miss
makes
you.
me,
when are you home? I know you said you're home
I'm
soon,
actually
right?
coming home Thursday for my dad's agency's having their 50th anniversary. So I'm coming home for that. I go to the party, and then I'm going to sneak out a little early from the party and go to the game. Be my first game of the year.
That's
so
dope.
I will be at the game Thursday. And it's always great to see you guys. Andrew, Ken, Rita.
Love you, buddy.
Later, guys. See you guys.
Thank you, pal.
Later.
The great Josh Charles. Appreciate him hopping on with us today. All right. Anybody else had anything else? I feel like this is like I almost prefer it when we have, things to yell and scream. Yeah.
Thursday. We're gonna be back at this in 4 days, stressed out.
Yeah,
So,
we'll be real
this was very
stressed
nice.
out.
How about another reunion with their old pass rusher, Calais Campbell, maybe?
Oh,
they need interior linemen badly. So
are they?
They're 2-6. The Dolphins are 2-6.
Come on, KZ, bring it back. Run it back.
For what?
Because they need it. What you mean for what?
Well, I think Rita's point.
Doesn't rush the quarterback.
But I think it's a different conversation.
Interior.
Yeah.
I said interior, which they need.
Yeah, they are
have a
thin.
need there.
They have a depth problem right now at interior.
They absolutely do.
I think we're talking about adding one person. If we're adding multiple people, sure, bring it back. But if they're adding one person, it needs to be somebody that puts the quarterback on his butt.
Cam Jordan and Calais.
Well, Cam Jordan hasn't done that this season. That's the problem. I think Cam Jordan might be washed. It's very weird.
I think there are 2 guys who need to make phone calls for and see what it costs. And that's Crosby and that's the dude in Cleveland.
I love the idea, but I just don't think either of those are happening. So I think Azeez Ojulari is the top of my list of things that I think are practical and within.
Raiders lost again. What are you hold on to?
I understand, but they have been screaming it that they won't trade him. So
sure,
look,
because they want the price to go up.
if that's the case, then I'm all for it. But everybody within the league is giving the same response, which is this isn't bluster. This is them just saying definitively, he is this franchise. We're not moving him. So if it is just bluster and they're just trying to get somebody to give up a bigger price, I'm all for. I have written that. I put it in stone.
Can I ask you a dumb question?
Yes.
I know we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Would you give up a 1 or a 2 for him?
I would give up a 1 and a 2 for him.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Because I think that's what it like. That's where we're at. Is it would be like
So
the only way to get him is.
And at this point, I agree with you. I don't care about the picks anymore.
Yeah, no. You go try to win the Super Bowl this year. Like
Yep.
everything's in line. Go try to get that done and then figure it out from there. And I'm not, I'm not as I saw some people today doing the bit where, like Todd Monken will probably be gone next year. I have no idea how hot of a commodity Todd Monken will be. Like
Todd Monken, like everybody wants Todd Monken, but he's going to a place that doesn't have Lamar. So let's just come on.
Well, I you say that. I don't know. This isn't hot young coordinator. This is retread. Everybody, they just left us alone, Casey. I don't know what happened here. Everybody was having
saying goodbye.
Everybody's just like, we're done. We're out. And this isn't even like a 5 o'clock thing. It's 4:37.
I was just gonna say it's 4:37. What's this about?
And everybody just said, I've had enough.
When we start at midnight, we want to stay on for an hour and a half. I mean, come on.
Wild. I don't know what's going on today, man. Yeah, I don't know how hot of a commodity Todd Monken will be, but I do know there's a lot of reasons why they should be aggressive. There's a ton of reasons to be aggressive, and I hope that they will, but I still don't know who's actually available. I don't think there's a chance in hell the Browns trade Myles Garrett to Baltimore. I don't think that Max Crosby's getting dealt. So with those two, to me, likely off the table, it's to do the Cowboys get crazy in the next 48 hours and decide they'll trade away Micah Parsons, or if not, then the conversation shifts, and I do think Azeez Ojulari becomes the top. But I am all for trying to go higher than that. I am all for it.
So I know Femi said no to cornerback, and we've been talking pass rush. What about Marshawn Lattimore, if he's available?
I just don't know how helpful he is any longer. That's part of my issue with these guys that have
like he's helpful.
I don't know. I don't know. My brain was there about 2 weeks ago with the secondary. Maybe Williams needed to sit and watch a game for a minute, and maybe he's back because he did play well.
They tried that. Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about the one play. I thought he was in the right spot today and played.
Other than the Bo Nix touchdown catch, where that
yeah.
I
mean, he's right there.
I get it.
I mean, sometimes you applaud Bo Nix a hell of an athlete. I mean, he jumped up and put his entire body.
I'm more inclined to applaud. I get it. All right. Go ahead.
I know.
Go ahead. Because in general, I do agree with you that he was better than the Marcus Williams certainly better than the Marcus Williams we saw earlier in the season.
Correct. So I hope that's real. But look, we've seen it with the pass rushers, and I get what everybody's saying with the coaches and the improvement and all that fun stuff, but they just don't have the guys to do it.
Yeah, Griffin.
I mean, the guy that you saw that you stole in the draft has been a 2-week healthy scratch.
Yep, not playing. Correct.
Okay. Way. I mean, we've been down that road. It is what it is.
Yeah, go make a move.
But he comes in flashes. So.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm in complete agreement. Go get the guy. In utter and complete agreement about it. And yes, as Griffin shows us the PFF numbers from Marshawn Lattimore, there's nothing there that suggests that he'd be anything more than another guy. And again, at a certain cost, go add more. Just go get as much depth as you can at certain positions. But I just can't do the bit where this guy used to be good at football, so I'm going to come back and expect him to be good at football again.
No, don't put him up there. Don't put them up.
Yeah, it was a rough day today. It was a rough day today for Brandon Stevens. Yeah, this one.
We haven't gotten on him enough.
Because Femi is right. He's been in position for the most part. He just had to make plays.
Correct.
But today he wasn't even in position. Brandon Stevens.
Yeah, but it's funny, and when they drafted Stevens, okay, I was kind of critical of it, and he turned out to be better than I thought he was because they drafted him as a corner, and I thought he was a safety. Okay, I've always thought that. And the more I see him at corner, the more I think he's a safety again. But I just it's great that he's always in the right position, but he's got to learn to turn his head and get his hands up. Yeah.
Yep.
But he did not have a good day.
Nope. It was a bad day today. Bad day today for Brandon Stevens. All right. Well,
in a game that they only gave up 10 points.
Correct. If you're going to have a bad game, today is the day to have a bad game.
Have it on that day.
Have a better game next week. No doubt about it. All right, make a trip to the game easy by saving the Easy Pass way for tolls. Go to driveeasymd.com. That's driveeasymd.com. Hey, Ken, thanks for hanging out till the end.
Should I leave without saying goodbye?
Right? Don't even bother. Just Griffin can just turn the show off without me even noticing the way that this went. No, appreciate everybody hanging out with us today. Don't forget, Reeta and I'll be together Wednesday night over on 105.7 The Fan. And of course, we're back tomorrow for GCR. And then short week, we will see you all again for Project Game Day late night Thursday following Ravens-Bengals. It's made possible by 1-800-GAMBLER. No cost treatment now available for anyone wanting help with a gambling problem. Thanks for hanging out with us this afternoon after a joyous Ravens win. Let's see what happens on Tuesday. Well, see a few things that happen.